When it comes to the point of water, we understand the nature of water. We understand water as a highly polar entity. We don't think of water as H2O. It's more like a whole organic body. We also think water, okay, have a lot of material dissolved in it, as I've mentioned earlier. And I have a philosophy. Maybe it's a little dramatic, but I think you can accept this. Okay, human evolved from nature, and I strongly believe from the beginning of life, when we do this evolution, okay, it is clearly we're dealing with the water, with plenty of minerals, and perhaps before life begins, there are probably considerable organic material as well. So the philosophy goes as following: go with nature, but because it took a lot of time for us to be what we are today, okay, as a organic being. So you need to go back to nature, go back with what it had always been, okay? I always have a problem when you're talking about the dyes, when you're talking about some of these new chemicals or drugs made strictly from petroleum products, okay? And it's man-made material, including sugars, clothes, dyes, okay, that you will be getting in close contact with your body. And that is why eETV in the past had a consistent program telling people this is toxic, this is toxic, this is toxic. When it comes back to water, to me, let's say water is the water with minerals, and I want to warn you, okay, especially for sporty guys or little guys going to school, in particularly people in Hong Kong, it's very easy for them to go to 7-Eleven and pick up a big jug of water. Unfortunately, 50% of the times, they will pick up a distilled water. To me, okay, as far as human body is concerned, that's very unnatural. That is not what it's all about. Let me give you a verbal illustration, okay, of what it can be. Let's say you're doing some cooking, and you have a pan or you have a wok, and it's very easy for you to cook something and end up having the whole thing sticking to the surface, right? We call it sticky wok. And we spend a lot of money, and a lot of chemicals trying to prevent the stickiness. If you're really into cooking, let me explain something to you. Water is everywhere. Water is on the surfaces. Water is in the wok. Although you can't see it, because of this polar nature, water had this adherence, okay, stickiness to all kind of surfaces, anything, you can name it. So when you heat it up, the first level, when you heat up the wok, what happens is you will see the water vapor get lifted. And that's what we call the white smoke, which is just water vaporization. When that happens, okay, a good chef will order the young chef or the sous chef, telling, I want you to have the hot water and warm oil. And actually not hot water, it's the dry wok. But you can never dry wok until you heat it, until the water gets enough energy to get out of its liquid state and bounce out into the vapor state. So it get vaporized. So you have a dry wok, dry surface. Your first chance is to squirt it with dehydrated oil, oil that had been previously heated slightly, just to get rid of all the water in the oil as well. So you can create a temporary oily surface void of water. Although it's not absolute, but for all practical purposes, you have an oil surface. It is that surface that is non-sticky. In other words, you can create a non-sticky surface each time very easily by adhering to this principle. I can take a iron wok, okay, and heat it up, dry it up, cool it off, squash it with a dehydrated oil, okay, and start cooking dish after dish without even changing, without even cleaning the wok, because the wok is always clean, nothing sticks to it, and all your other food is aqueous phase, water phased. You got the idea? Like dissolves like. Oil and water don't mix. That simple. That is the secret of non-stickiness to begin with. Okay. So you do not have to use ceramic surfaces to cook. You do not have to use Teflon surfaces to cook. You do need this understanding to cook each and every time and forever. So another thing I want to remind you is this activated charcoal filtration of water off the tap water with a pitcher, with a cylinder, with a filter, charcoal filter, is not an absolute thing. And to me, natural water should not be toxic, although some are. Some natural resources are toxic. Okay, there's some selenium laden, some cyano type compounds. So you have to differentiate what is good and what's bad. It's hard to get a good quality mineral water. But once you got them, stick to them. And the last thing I want you to do is to pick up distilled water. Distilled water, that means you vaporize the water and leaving all the goodies behind, which is what makes it natural, and also all the volatile compounds are not necessarily good compounds. And when you filter it, there's no guarantee the filtration is good. The filtration could very well be troublesome. If this thing fluoresces, that's not water that's fluorescing. That's the stuff that's dissolved in water. Okay. So this is the key as far as water is concerned. The take-home message is understand the nature of water. Once you understand it, you understand what natural water is all about. And the last thing I want you to do is to drink distilled water. No. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. See you next time.